Hello and welcome to India Business Hour. I'm Ashmit Kumar and here are the headlines we're tracking this evening. RBI crackdown drags Paytm down for the second week in a row. The stock has lost 45% since central bank imposed curbs on Paytm Payments Bank on 31st of January. Paytm parent 197 has formed an advisory committee chaired by former SEBI chairman Damodaran to work with the board in further strengthening compliances. HUL MD and CEO Rohit Java says the FMCG giant is using artificial intelligence tools to forecast demand, create customized offers for customers. Says growth in certain segments could triple in a decade. Calls digital e-commerce their fastest growing channel. That's an exclusive. LIC delivers in the third quarter. Profit soars 49% on a yearly basis. The insurer announces a dividend of 4 rupees per share. LIC chairman tells CNBC-TV18 that FY25 will be better than FY24. Says that he expects double-digit growth in its annual premium equivalent in Q4. Hero MotoCorp beats streets estimates in third quarter. Profits rise 51% and revenues grow by 21% annually. Company announces dividend worth 100 rupees per share. Independent candidates backed by Imran Khan's party take a surprise lead in Pakistan's elections. Nawaz Sharif's party stands second as counting ends for half the seats. Several experts question the unusual delay in counting the votes. The death toll in Gaza nears 28,000 as Israel intensifies attacks. US warns Israel against pounding Rafah, where millions of Palestinians are taking refuge. US says it will not support Israeli military operation in Rafah without a plan for civilians. Steel giant ArcelorMittal Nippon Steel makes a U-turn in its tussle with IOC, tells the Supreme Court that the two companies have agreed to arbitration over IOC's claims of unpaid dues worth 8,700 crore rupees. Both companies submit that arbitrators will be appointed in a week. The Parliamentary Standing Committee on Communications and IT highlights cyber fraud losses worth 5,574 crores in the first half of the current fiscal, flags trust deficit in India's digital payment system and points to a serious lacuna in the use of virtual accounts for masking money trails of cyber frauds.
I shall now put clause 18 to vote. Those in favour will please say aye. Those against will please say no.
Parliament passes a bill aimed at addressing leak of question papers and curbing malpractices in government recruitment exams. Those involved in organised crime of cheating will face 10 years in prison and a minimum fine of 1 crore rupees. Former Prime Ministers P.V. Narasimha Rao, Chaudhry Charan Singh and agricultural scientist M.S. Swaminathan will be conferred with the Bharat Ratna posthumously. Prime Minister Modi makes the announcements on X. Says Rao's tenure fostered a new era of economic development. We're heading straight to the day's market action. Markets staged a smart recovery in the second half and ended flat as yet another volatile session kept indices within a tight range. Sensex and Nifty clocked marginal gains at the end of the session. The pressure mid-cap stocks saw on Thursday intensified. Meanwhile, PSU banks were the worst hit. Over 1.5 lakh crore rupees worth of PSU bank investor wealth was wiped out. In global markets now, Japanese shares rallied today with the benchmark index Nikkei reaching 37,000, hitting a 34-year high. This jump was largely led by shipping and financial stocks, overnight gains on Wall Street and the stabilization in the yen exchange rate. Well, moving on to the big exclusive we're tracking this evening. Trouble continues to mount for Paytm after its Paytm's bank sees the first big resignation following RBI's crackdown. Sources tell CNBC-TV18 that independent director Manju Agarwal has resigned from the board a day after RBI's action. Shares of fintech company's parent 197 Communications remained in the red today as well. And well, for more on this, we're now joined by Ritu Singh. She's sharing more details with us. Ritu, give us a sense of this fresh resignation of the Paytm board.
Well, thanks for that. The troubles don't seem to end for Paytm Payment Bank, and following the lapses that have come to light when it comes to regulatory compliance and other issues, the spotlight very much has shifted to the role of the board of directors at the bank. And now we've been given to understand that just a day after RBI's public notification announcing these restrictions on the bank, at least one board member has submitted her resignation. Now, we've been given to understand that Manju Agarwal, who'd been serving as an independent director on the board of Paytm Payment Bank since May of 2021, submitted her resignation as a director effective the 1st of February, that is a day after RBI's actions. Now, Manju Agarwal is a veteran banker. She's been with State Bank of India for nearly 34 years and retired as the DMD. And we've been given to understand that following RBI's restrictions that were placed on the bank, Manju Agarwal chose to leave because she believed that this impacted her board positions in other companies. Now, this is not good news, of course. You have a board member resigning right after the Reserve Bank of India's action. We reached out to Paytm Payment Bank for their comment on the story, but we haven't received one yet. As far as the board is concerned, it is a 9-member board that is headed by Vijay Shekhar Sharma. It also includes Surinder Chawla, the CEO of Paytm Payment Bank, and Bhavesh Gupta, the CEO of Lending and Offline Payments at Paytm. It also has 5 independent directors, and that includes the likes of Ramesh Abhishek, who's a former bureaucrat, last secretary of DPIIT, Shinjini Kumar, Pankaj Vaish, and Arvind Kumar Jain, besides Manju Agarwal.
Right, Ritu, thanks a lot for that. And well, speaking of Paytm, its parent company 197 Communications has said that it will form an advisory panel. Paytm says that the panel will help the company strengthen its compliance further. It will be chaired by former SEBI chairman M. Damodran, and it will be mandated to look at compliance issues. Further, the Reserve Bank Deputy Governor M. Rajeshwar Rao has warned NBFCs on peer-to-peer lending. Speaking at a CII event in Mumbai, Deputy Governor said that MFIs have been reluctant to pass on the benefits to borrowers as directed under the new regime for microfinance loans. He added that such instances will compel the central bank to take action.
It is observed that while the lenders have been quick to pass on the increased costs to the borrowers, they have been reluctant to pass on the benefits envisaged under the new framework to the borrowers. Some of the MFIs have increased their margins disproportionately under the new regime. We are not oblivious to the misuse of the freedom provided to the microfinance sector and some of the irresponsible practices some of these entities are having, and perhaps more such instances does put pressure to act on these entities.
Well, on to a CNBC-TV18 exclusive. HUL MD and CEO Rohit Java has said that the FMCG giant's growth in certain segments will triple and even quadruple in the next decade. Speaking to CNBC-TV18, Shireen Bhan, Java said that the FMCG giant is using artificial intelligence tools to forecast demand and create and customize offers for customers. He also added that e-commerce is currently HUL's fastest growing channel.
There's a huge runway for growth. And when we looked at each and every category we play in, we clearly see we're about 10 to 15 odd years behind these mega markets. In the next decade, we could be seeing some categories doubling, tripling, quadrupling.
For instance?
I mean, any category you name, for instance, just take, for example, even one category where we've been very much the leaders of market development is home care. A couple of places I believe this is still happening in a fast pace today when I come back is beauty care and in packaged foods, where I think the pace of transformation will be even more fast. We have now AI signals for our demand forecasting, so we don't need human intervention. We can, in fact, they forecast better. We get data signals of all our customers, what they're buying, what they're ordering even when we are not there. So in the, in the evening, they want to order something, if they're running out, and we're able to market to them using AI. We can create customized offers. On e-commerce and digital commerce is already the fastest growing channel for us, and we are gaining competitiveness there, and that's going to be clearly a place that we want to lean in on, because that is going to grow and will more than double what it's today as contribution to our business easily, I believe, in the next 5-10 years.
Well, you can catch that entire conversation with HUL's MD and CEO Rohit Java at 10 p.m. right here on CNBC-TV18. Well, LIC, meanwhile, reported a strong set of third-quarter earnings, with the value of its new business surging 46% on a yearly basis. Its total annualized premium equivalent also saw positive growth. Speaking to my colleague Yash Jain, company's chairperson Siddharth Mohanty said that he expects the next fiscal year to be better than FY24. Take a look.
Enter FY24, Q1 and Q2 was not that good for LIC. And we have now in Q3, we have started moving and we have shown good result, particularly in margin and VNB growth, all these things. Q3, some improvement is there, and that's why I told it is just beginning. And this Q3 will not continue to Q4. Q3 will continue further. So FY25 will be still better than FY24. AP has shown some positive growth and it will further improve. Looking to our product line and all other things, AP positive growth will be there in Q4.
Well, staying with earnings, Hero MotoCorp posted a strong set of third-quarter numbers, beating the expectations on all parameters. The company reported a 51% year-on-year growth in net profit, while revenues rose 21%. Lower commodity prices and premiumization helped EBITDA margins expand by 250 basis points. The company's board also approved a total interim dividend of 100 rupees per share. Well, more from earnings. Tata Power reported a mixed set of earnings in the third quarter. Net profit beat the street's expectations, while revenue and margins missed the mark. On an annual basis, the company posted more than a 2% rise in net profit and nearly 4% jump in revenue. Margins remained flat at 16.5%. And PepsiCo's fourth quarter revenue missed the Wall Street's estimates as multiple price hikes hurt demand. However, its profits beat the expectations. The quarterly revenue slid for the first time in 4 years to $27.8 billion, while profit jumped to $1.3 billion from over $500 million in the previous year. Now, the Income Tax Department is likely to send notices amounting to 25,000 crore rupees to insurance companies. The notices are likely to be sent by the end of March. Sources have told CNBC-TV18 that the companies have allegedly paid higher commissions and claimed deductions for the period before the 1st of April 2023. In courtroom action now, the Bombay High Court has granted relief to Mercedes-Benz. The court put an interim stay on the demand for IGST dues on salaries paid by the automaker to expatriates under the reverse charge mechanism. The stay of the order will be in effect till the next hearing. The Revenue Department will submit a counter affidavit in 2 weeks' time. Well, and speaking of GST demands on salaries paid to expats, sources have told CNBC-TV18 that the DG of GST Intelligence has sent show-cause notices to 240 companies to the tune of 3,300 crore rupees. Timsy Jaipuria is joining us now with more details. Timsy, tell us, what are your sources telling you?
Well, that's right. The Directorate General of GST Intelligence has issued show-cause notices to about 240 companies demanding GST dues on expat salaries and expenses. Sources say that GST demands of about 3,300 crore rupees have been raised by DGGI, and several companies post-investigations have voluntarily actually paid a measure of this amount, that is to the tune of about 2,500 crore rupees. Some of the top companies that faced GST demands for not paying these dues include Maruti Suzuki India, which paid about 139.29 crore rupees voluntarily. Panasonic India paid 75.30 crores voluntarily. Shell India, they paid about 46 crore rupees voluntarily. India Yamaha Motors Private Limited, 36.68 crore rupees were paid voluntarily. Similarly, IBM, Sony, Aramco, they also paid a measure of their amount voluntarily. Apart from that, some of these companies which were raised the demands that were below 10 crore rupees include Reckitt Benckiser, American Express, Benetton, Bombardier, LinkedIn, Oracle, Google, and many more. So all of these were on the radar of DGGI, and yes, during the investigations and post-investigations, a lot of these companies have paid voluntarily. Let's see how many more come up to make these dues voluntary payment. Back to you.
Right, Timsy, thanks a lot for that. ArcelorMittal Nippon Steel now has taken a U-turn. The company has urged with the Apex Court that it has agreed to arbitration with Indian Oil over unpaid dues worth 8,700 crore rupees. Now, the steel giant has submitted that the High Court order which quashed the claim be set aside. Both the companies said that arbitrators will be appointed in a week's time. More courtroom action. The Supreme Court has agreed to hear pleas by startups challenging a Madras High Court order which upheld Google's app billing policy. However, the Apex Court refused to pass an interim order protecting these startups from being removed from Google's Play Store. This means that Google can remove these applications of these startups if they are not in agreement with its billing policy. Remember, as an interim measure, the startups had asked for a cap of 4% for use of Google's billing system. And the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Communications and IT highlights cyber fraud losses worth 5,500 crore rupees in the first half of the current fiscal year. In the wake of RBI action against Paytm, Parliamentary panel has flagged serious lacuna in the use of virtual accounts for masking money trails of cyber frauds. And the Parliamentary panel on transport and tourism, meanwhile, has suggested that the aviation industry should empower the DGCA to regulate ticket prices. The panel also recommended a mechanism to be built to control surges during the festive season. Remember, DGCA has a tariff monitoring unit but does not have any power to regulate tariffs based on the data. And the Parliament has passed a bill aimed at addressing leak of question papers and curbing malpractices in government recruitment exams. Those involved in organized crimes of cheating will face 10 years in prison and a minimum fine of 1 crore rupees. More news from the national capital. The list of Bharat Ratna awardees this year has gone up to 5. Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced the names of former Prime Ministers P.V. Narasimha Rao, Chaudhry Charan Singh and agricultural scientist M.S. Swaminathan. All three will be conferred with the honour posthumously. Congress's Narasimha Rao was known for his big economic reforms in the 90s as the Prime Minister. This paved the way for an end to the licence Raj. He also served as Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister. Chaudhry Charan Singh formed the first non-Congress government in Uttar Pradesh and served as the Prime Minister for a short tenure in 1979. He also worked for the rights of farmers and their welfare. Agriculture scientist M.S. Swaminathan, known as the father of the Green Revolution, is also on the list. He played a key role in helping India achieve self-reliance in agriculture. Earlier, the government had announced Bharat Ratna for veteran BJP leader L.K. Advani and former Bihar Chief Minister Kapoor Thakur.
Bharat Ratna for P.V. Narasimha Rao, ma'am.
Chaudhry Charan ji ko.
Former Prime Minister Chaudhry Charan Singh and Bharat Ratna for P.V. Narasimha Rao. Former Prime Minister.
Well, I welcome them. Why not?
ये बहुत बड़ा दिन है, मेरे लिए भावुक पल है, ये यादगार पल है, स्मरणीय है। 3 अवार्ड दिए गए हैं, खासतौर से चौधरी चरण सिंह जी को जो सम्मानित किया है। बहुत बड़ा संदेश पूरे देश में गया है। देश की भावनाएं इस सरकार के इस फैसले से जुड़ी हैं।
I feel very proud and very happy that my father's work has been recognized by the highest civilian honor in India. Bharat Ratna is the highest honor that you can give, and he has been recognized for his lifetime of contributions, of course, to agriculture, but more important to farmers' welfare.
Well, coming up on India Business Hour, the death toll in Gaza nears 28,000 as Israel intensifies attacks. US warns Israel against pounding Rafah, where millions of Palestinians are taking refuge. And you can also catch all CNBC-TV18's news and updates on Facebook, X, Threads, Instagram and JioCinema. Well, you are watching India Business Hour. Now, Pakistan's Election Commission has announced the provisional results following a delay in counting even 10 hours after the polls had closed. As per early trends, the grouping of independent candidates affiliated to Imran Khan's PTI has taken the lead in the National Assembly elections. PML Nawaz, which is the single largest party so far, emerged as the close second, followed by Bilawal Bhutto's Pakistan People's Party, or the PPP. Despite lagging behind, Nawaz Sharif is upbeat about making a victory speech once the final results are out. The country's political landscape is largely dominated by 3 major parties: Pakistan Muslim League, Nawaz Sharif Nawaz, Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, and Pakistan's People's Party. The incoming government will have to grapple with formidable challenges that include handling of internal conflict, a significant economic crisis, and illegal migration. More international news now. Ukraine President Zelensky has dismissed his top commander amidst the ongoing conflict with Russia. Army chief has been replaced by commander of the group forces. This is the first major military resignation since the start of the war. In a statement, the ousted army chief said that he had serious conversations with the Ukrainian president and a decision has been made to change tactics and strategy to win the war. And the war between Israel and Hamas continues to rage on, with Israel bombarding the Gaza Strip. The White House has warned Israel against mounting its offensive in Gaza's southern city of Rafah, where millions of Palestinians have taken refuge. The U.S. says military operations in Rafah without proper planning would be a disaster. President Joe Biden has said that U.S. will not support Israel's plans in the area without considering the refugees there, calling Israel's military conduct in the region over the top.
I'm of the view, as you know, that the conduct of the response in the Gaza Strip has been over the top. That we have to do much more to increase the amount of material going in, including fuel, including other items. There are innocent people, innocent women and children who are also in badly need of help.
And speaking of President Joe Biden, he has hit back at an investigation that implied that the president struggled to recall key life events. While addressing the media, President Biden responded to the council report, saying that his memory is just fine.
I'm well-meaning, and I'm an elderly man, and I know what the hell I'm doing. I've been president, and I put this country back on its feet. I don't need his recommendation. It's totally
How bad is your memory, and can you continue as president?
My memory is so bad I let you speak. That's
your memory has gotten worse, Mr.
No,
President?
My memory is not good. My memory is fine. My memory, take a look at what I've done since I become president.
Well, Ginger Hotels, a subsidiary of Indian Hotels, has recently opened its biggest property of more than 370 rooms in Mumbai. The hotel chain has also said that it will expand its footprint with two similar properties in Goa and Bengaluru. Rachna Dhanrajani caught up with Deepika Rao as well as Suma Venkatesh of Indian Hotels on the group's larger strategy. Take a look.
Started in 2004 from the house of IHCL, a brand that has given us hotels like Taj and Vivanta, came Ginger Hotels. And though it was perceived as a business hotel initially, it was in 2018 when it took a turn towards being lean luxury. And now with 371 keys at this newly opened up Ginger near Mumbai International Airport, this one is the biggest of its kind. With a sports bar, an all-day diner and other such amenities, Ginger Hotels aims to target consumers of all ages and backgrounds. Recently, the project Avhan was launched, which is a three-pronged strategy to grow profitably. How is that coming along?
Avhan actually we announced last year in May, and it was our guidance for the period till FY26. Maybe if you look at three parts of that strategy, one was to take our portfolio to 300 hotels, and we're actually pacing ahead of that. We're already 285 and there's still another 2 years to go. So we're quite confident that that particular metric will be met before time. The second was to maintain a nil debt status, and that continues to be the case. The third aspect of Avhan was to also look at a 33% EBITDA margin at IHCL consolidated. So we just announced our quarter results, and 9 months period we are at a 32.7% EBITDA margin. So I would say that we are either pacing ahead or we are on our guidance for Avhan.
Talking about new locations where Taj is going, one of the hottest locations that we all heard about was Lakshadweep. How is that coming about? What's the strategy, and any other location you're looking at?
So Lakshadweep is a hot destination today. It's like the new Maldives of India, if I may say that. So for us, Lakshadweep is a great crown, a jewel in our crown, and this will be a fantastic hotel, a luxury hotel that we'll create on 2 of the islands in Lakshadweep, the Suheli and Kadmat, and this will be the first eco-sensitive resort, because we want to, while we want to explore the destination, you don't want to leave a huge footprint on the very fragile island.
Well, with that, it's a wrap on this edition of India Business Hour. But before we go, we're excited to announce that CNBC-TV18 is back with the second season of India's biggest campaign on gender parity. Join us for the launch event of CNBC-TV18's Future Female Forward, the Women's Collective, with top leaders, influencers, policymakers and trailblazers all under one roof to chart a path towards bridging the gender gap. The launch will be live from Delhi on Saturday, the 10th of February at 5 p.m. onwards, right here on CNBC-TV18. Do tune in, and thanks so much for watching. The news and updates will continue right here on CNBC-TV18.